Hello, welcome back to another edition of the I'm Always Right Sports Podcast. I'm your host, as always, the mouth of Michigan, Ron Bediker. With me, as always, my co-host, the Merkso, Mike Merkel. And if you guys are noticing or watching from last week, you're noticing we're probably in the same clothes. And that's because we are recording both episodes 49 and episode 50 on the same day because yours truly is getting married at the time of this recording. So because of that, we had to record back-to-back episodes to make sure we didn't miss a week, because how could we go? Yeah. How could I get married and go to my honeymoon knowing that you guys did not have a new episode of the I'm Always Right Sports Podcast?
Want to hear something funny? My mom asked me if I wanted to bring another shirt for the next episode they're doing, so we didn't look the exact same.
That's hilarious. That's awesome.
So I said no. I said
it's fine.
Lions.
Yeah, it's good.
Lions will win the next two, so it'll be.
Huzzah! I was hoping. All right, let's not get into that too far. All right. I mean, so this week is going to be a little bit different. Usually, we're always talking about the most current, the most up-to-date stuff, and normally that's the way we follow. But this week, we're going to do something a little bit different for episode 50. I figured 50th episode. I figured we get to know each other a little bit more, so you guys know a little bit more about us. Now, if you go on our website, I'mAlwaysRightPC.com, you guys will find the About Us page and find mini blurbs about who we are off of the show. But I figured this week, Mike, we would talk about our favorites. And what I mean by our favorites is our favorite actor. Jeez. We were talking about movies earlier, so I'm still stuck in that mind frame. But our favorite athletes from all different rounds. We are one of the few shows out there that talks, football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and wrestling, as well as college athletics as well. So I figured this week, we always talk about this stuff, and they always wonder, why are they so high? Yeah. Why is Mike so high on LeBron James? It's almost like he's his favorite player or something. It's weird. I don't get it. So I figured this week, our fans out there can get a better, it's one of those like Ask Me Anything kind of shows, like on Reddit or something. But we just kind of give everybody our favorites, So we're gonna go favorites of current day on each sport and our favorites of all time, because that may be two different people. So let's start with some of the stuff that we don't talk as passionately about. Let's start, I guess, with baseball.
Cool.
All right. Who is your current favorite baseball player and why?
Ooh, and why?
I know, right? You can't just be like, well, I know him, because I could fill in for Kyle, and he'd just be like, who plays on the Astros? I like him.
No, he likes Springer on the Astros.
Yeah, exactly.
He just bought his jersey.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Of course he did. He's such a...
Yeah, okay,
whatever.
Words. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, it's fine. Oh, is he going to buy a Ian Book jersey too? I know he's high on Notre Dame for 5 minutes before they got absolutely destroyed by Michigan.
I know. I'm going to tweet that picture out soon. He's now a Notre Dame fan as a Michigan fan. So
it's ridiculous.
You can go attack him.
Ridiculous.
Anyway, I think currently I'm going to say my favorite baseball player is Jose Altuve from the Houston Astros.
Yeah.
Over the past couple years, since their 2017 run, I've been a big fan of Jose, and this last playoff run really kind of really got me on board. I was hitting some nice little dingers that he was doing, and against the Yankees, and then also in the World Series.
Yeah, for sure.
Big fan.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick. I mean, he's a guy who's always been consistent for them. Yeah. He was a guy even before Verlander and everybody in Detroit really started to pay attention to these guys. He's always been like that guy, right? Mm-hmm. Like immediately they got Jose Altuve, and he's always been a great infielder. He's always been he's got some really great power at the plate. Mm-hmm. A guy who's always stayed clean off of the field and all that kind of stuff, which is important, I think. To a lot of people. Who's, I guess, would you say is your favorite all-time baseball player, if you had to pick one? Now, you told me off air, right? You haven't watched baseball as serious as you started the past couple years. I think that comes a little bit too with age. Like, I know it's hard for, even when I was like 13, 14, I'm like, all right, talk to me when the playoffs start. And I'm still like that a little bit, I'm not going to lie. But, but I think it's hard sometimes to be like, I'm just going to watch a whole, 160, 80, 90, 134 games and be truly invested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people are, and I am not that person.
I wish I could be that person.
I don't have that kind of time.
I've always reckoned myself with Derek Jeter. Yeah. I don't know why. Just ever since I was a kid.
You like his arm. You're a quarterback. I can tell.
It's exactly really awesome. His highlights just go nuts.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Every Tiger fan just went boo. I hope you know
honestly,
that.
I know.
Said that.
I think
he's from Michigan.
Yeah. His arm is awesome.
Yeah.
And his final play where he gets the single RBI to go off on top kind of thing.
Right.
It's just such an awesome kind of exclamation part to the story.
Right.
So I think just everything, long career, all with the same team too, so he's not like going to 15 different teams. So I'd say probably Derek Jeter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a bad pick. I mean, consistency is the name of the game, and there was nobody better than Derek Jeter when it came to that kind of stuff. So, former MVP, World Series champion. He was a Yankee, so woof. But just take off the pinstripes for a second. Just look at the totality of the career. It's a pretty impressive.
My current favorite was close to being Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
I just went double Yankee on that, and that would have been wild for me.
Jeez, yeah. Everybody would have went boo, as hard as possible. Yeah. Let's see. So my favorite baseball player today, that's a tough one.
It is.
I'd like to be like, oh yeah, Tigers all the way, but they're just so awful all the time. I could be like a lot of the people and go Don Kelly, like remember when he was on the team, because everybody liked Don Kelly for some reason. I'm gonna say my current favorite player is probably still gonna be Verlander. Honestly, I can really appreciate his approach. He's always been. When he's on, I don't think there's a better pitcher in the league than him. I just got done talking last show about how he's terrible in the World Series. But outside of that, he really is a real dominant player. He's always been, he was a great Tiger. He's been phenomenal with Houston. The way he his command, and basically it's always been cool kind of seeing that his whole career kind of play out in front of me, because he was kind of coming up right as I was really starting to really get into my sports vacuum zone there. So it was always kind of fun to see him. As far as my favorite baseball player of all time, I'd probably say Ken Griffey Jr. A guy who was, a lot of people, I think, forget about how good he was. And obviously, when he was really, really good, I was not alive or very, very small to understand. But going back and watching some of that stuff, his athleticism, his numbers are phenomenal. He never got that World Series, but he was on those really good Seattle Mariner teams with, like, Randy Johnson and stuff. He was always so solid, the most athletic dude. He was like the Tiger Woods, phenomenon of a guy when it came to baseball. Guy could do everything. He was so good. So smooth, so fast. It's one of those things where you just go, wow. Truly, the fact that he never won a championship is crazy, probably because he spent half his career in Cincinnati, so I'm sorry. But he's a guy looking back on where you go, that's really good. Another guy, too, that I really can appreciate now looking back on is Cal Ripken, too. We just talked about consistency with Derek Jeter. The consistency of consistency is Cal Ripken Jr. World champion with Baltimore, played his entire career with the same team. He was always, he was right there at the very end of it, still being able to hit for average, get on base. He did everything. He did all the little things right. Maybe not the most overly athletic guy in the world, but always was the model of consistency and just the standard. You know what I mean? All right, let's shift now. Let's go to hockey. Ooh. Hockey, I know. We haven't had a lot to cheer about as hockey fans here in Hockey Town the past few years, but hopefully those times are changing. I say that facetiously a little bit. Who is your favorite hockey player right now? You say Sidney Crosby, I'm going to punch you.
No, actually, it's funny. I thought of that. I was going to look up his name, but actually there is someone. Alex Ovechkin is my favorite hockey player. Yeah. I think you knew that, though.
I think so, too. I was waiting for it. Yeah.
As I said, I haven't started watching hockey until about 4 or 5 years ago, probably. I started actually wow, hockey's actually a thing, and I'm gonna watch that. And then the first real run I watched was the Capitals run. And usually when there's that run when I first start watching, and seeing Alex Ovechkin,
it's the first person that sticks out, and he's just oh, that's my favorite.
He's the guy. That's my guy. Yeah, and when we get to football, I have that same guy for football, and I think you know who I'm thinking of. But yeah, I watched that run. I was like, wow, that's incredible. So now I'm going to say I'm a Washington Capitals fan, and Alex Ovechkin's definitely my favorite player.
That's not a bad pick. Once again, phenomenal player. I would say, man. Currently, that's tough. Because there's quite a few guys that I like out there, but it's tough. I don't know who I would say is my favorite currently. That's tough for me. I don't know. Who's your favorite all time? While I think about that,
I feel like the easy answer is Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
But I don't watch much hockey,
right?
So I'm preference by hockey is the least watched sport for mine, which is weird because I actually really enjoy baseball. So I guess maybe all time would still be Alex Ovechkin because I've watched so much of him over the last like 5 to 10 years. For sure. Like just going back and watching stuff. Yeah. So maybe I would say either him. I've gone back and watched Gretzky stuff and he's just so phenomenal that it's probably one of the two. But I'd probably say Ovechkin for both.
Ovechkin for both. Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, he's been in the league for
a good amount of time,
quite a while. I mean, this is not a wow. But I guess I'll say currently, I would say I don't watch a ton of hockey outside of the Wings. For the longest time, the Wings were a dominant franchise. So it's kind of was easy. So I'm going to say, because I still watch quite a bit of Red Wings hockey, I don't watch a lot of league stuff. I would probably say Larkin.
He was my number 2, probably.
I like the way he plays. I like the fact he gets a little in it sometimes with people. Yes. I'm about how he's just I'm just gonna throw bows. I'm I can appreciate the fact the fact that he's not the captain right now is stupid in my mind. But I can really get behind him. For all time, I would probably have to say I would like to say it would be Yzerman, but I was not really paying attention enough to where you really saw Yzerman's heyday. Yeah. So I will say though, I was a big Pavel Datsyuk fan. Okay. He was always a guy where you just especially that second, when they won the cup again in 2008, where they had that double series with the Penguins. Him and Zetterberg both were so phenomenal in that. Yeah. But Datsyuk for me was just man, every time he touched the puck, it just felt like magic was about to happen. And that for me was always man, this dude, every time, he really kept that team afloat. When Zetterberg was hurt a lot, he was the guy all right, let's throw Datsyuk out there, because if Pavel can't score, no one else is going to score. Yeah. You know what I mean? So and he's still playing at a high level now in the KHL and everything, and so he's a guy where you just go, man, he was really.
I would actually change. Honorable mention would be Zetterberg for one of my favorite hockey players ever. Yeah, I don't
think Zetterberg gets enough credit for taking over for Yzerman after Yzerman retired. He became the captain. He became the new guy for this team. He got us to another Stanley Cup championship. Those are all prerequisites of being a great captain for the Red Wings, at least. So that's a guy that you really have to point to and say, job well done, for sure. Absolutely. Let's go. Let's see. Where do we want to go next? I don't know what I want to throw. What curveball do I want to throw?
I don't know. We didn't plan this out, so I guess we're just going wherever's next.
I know. I want to
it's one of 3, right?
Yeah, I know. I want to talk about it, but I got all right.
I feel okay. I'm going to say this. I think we should go wrestling next. Okay. Only because I think we'll talk the most about basketball.
All right, fine. I don't know. I got a lot of wrestling. All right, let's go wrestling next.
I know you have a lot, but yours are quick because everyone already knows who your favorites are.
I know. I suck. All right. Who is your? Let's go wrestling then, right? Who is your number 1 top dog, the big dog, so to speak, in the world of Mike Merkel? Actually, no. I'm going to break this up just for a second. Who's your favorite current WWE guy?
I was going to separate.
Yeah, and then who's your favorite just in outside of WWE? We'll throw everybody else in a hodgepodge.
Okay, cool. I like hodgepodge.
Yeah.
My favorite current WWE wrestler would be. Ooh, I actually didn't think about this because I was just going to say.
I thought you'd say Rollins, personally.
No. I mean, maybe. It's. I have a big.
It's fun. What's funny, guys, is just so you guys get a little intrigue in behind the scenes. Usually, me and Mike talk about the show a little bit before we kind of go on air and do all this. But this one, because it's kind of like a throwing it together kind of thing where. You never really think about it. You always kind of watch these shows, watch these games, and root for guys you don't really realize you're rooting for. Yeah. And then when someone puts you on the spot and you go, "Who's your favorite?" and you go, "Oh crap, who's my favorite?"
It's like Rollins. I always cheer for Rollins to win, but I don't know if he's my favorite.
Right, and then right? It's oh yeah, I really like Cesaro, but is he my favorite? No, he's not.
I always cheer for.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it's tough. It's harder when you do that. So it's fun to kind of put us on the spot here a little bit. Let us know too in the comments below who your guys' favorite, NBA, NFL, NHL player, Major League Baseball player, pro wrestler if you're a big fan of that. Hell, even MMA fighter if you guys want to throw that in there as well. Because we can. Mine's super easy too. We can maybe talk about that too because we usually don't talk a lot of UFC or anything on there. But make sure you guys say in the comments or anywhere else or let us know. I'm always right or iarbroadcastmedia@gmail.com letting us know who your favorite athletes are from any sport. Hell, if you want to go soccer, let us know who it is. I'm not going to know who it is, but you go for it anyway.
Unless it's Ronaldo on there. All right.
Favorite?
I think at the end of the day, I'm going to go Johnny Gargano as
really?
My favorite. Yeah.
Wow, that was a little weird. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, God, everything about him. But I love what Ciampa's doing right now.
Yeah.
But I've never really been like
a big Ciampa
guy. Like, I look at it as like, oh, those are probably my 1A, 1B. But when they were wrestling each other, I was more on the Gargano side. So that means I have to favor Gargano as probably my favorite.
That shocked me a little bit. I know you were a big Gargano guy.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact, but I didn't know if that's where you were gonna go. Hard.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough, right?
Tough.
It's like I was saying. It's hard when you just go who like of all else. Who's the one guy? You're like, nope, he's it.
No, see, it's funny because when you go, and we'll go to outside WWE now for me for a second.
Yeah.
Will Ospreay is just.
He's leaps and bounds above everybody. I knew that was coming immediately.
Like, he's number one. Like, number two is like 100 places down from him.
Right.
Like, he is so far above everybody else.
Right. Why do you think you like Ospreay so much? He's just the first guy that you really gravitated to outside of
the first match I watched was him at Power Struggle against Marty Scurll. And after watching it, I went, wow, that's like amazing. Like, I didn't think people could do that in wrestling.
Right.
And now just going through and watching him, like, literally I've been watching him since like we went to the first show in Michigan, 3 years ago now, when he was there in that 10-man tag just doing flips, and now he's like bulked up, and now he's going to be in the heavyweight division. Just like I feel like this is one of the few guys
that you
in another direction that I've like been growing with the whole time.
Yeah, for
because like Okada's already there, Kenny Omega was already there when I started watching, but Will Ospreay was like almost like a kid.
Yeah, he was just getting there. He was
just getting popular. Now he's like very popular. I could be like, I remember the first match I watched was like 4 years ago.
Right.
When some people are like, I watched him. That last event was my first one. I was like, no, I've been a fan of him for like 4 years now.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And just everything that he's able to do in a ring, I think like every match of his is almost must watch. Even against Lance Archer, Evil, anybody you put him up against who usually wouldn't be a great match, he can make it a great match.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's awesome.
And it's what you like too, right? Some guys like more of the storytelling ability. Like I know, like a lot of people you'd ask, okay, who's your favorite wrestler? People go Hulk Hogan. If you're going to say Hulk Hogan, that's a very common answer. But maybe it's not for the in-ring ability. Clearly, it's for the character as a whole, and what that meant for you when you were at your height of your fandom.
So those are my two. I guess, currently.
Yeah, so so Mike is definitely more on the technical side of things, and being able to really capture you in with the more of the in-ring stuff. Because those are two guys who I would not say are quote-unquote great on the microphone necessarily, but in the ring, right, they always tell a great story. Contrary to what Jim Cornette says, Ospreay does tell a great story.
He does,
and you really kind of get sucked into that. So like Gargano was a little shocked. I thought for sure you were gonna say Rollins. I was like, if I had money, I was like, he's gonna say Rollins. It's just like an easy layup type answer.
I think I've been liking Rollins less as a storyline with the Fiend's been going.
Pretty much ever since he became champ, I'm kind of go, all right.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's what it is. He's such a good chaser, and then once he gets it, I'm like,
it's kind of like Cena, because I was a big Cena guy for a long time. I was like, he's the future. And then when he won the title, after like the first 6 months, I went, okay, I'm kind of tired of you now. I don't want you as champion anymore.
She's there all the time.
Yeah, I know. You just feel it. Yeah. It's tough. So my favorite WWE. Oh, hold on. Let's go this stuff. Who's your favorite wrestler all time? Now this one we're just gonna use one big one because I feel like there's got to be one guy that of all else is just your guy.
It's close.
Like any match, past, present, future. You watch him in a match and you go, I'm rooting for him no matter what.
Ooh. Rooting for that.
Like no matter what time. Like you go on the WWE Network, go on New Japan World, and anytime. I have a story for mine, but I know you. I know yours. Yeah, everybody knows who mine is at this point, but
it's literally on the wall.
Joe Montana wasn't around. What are we talking about?
God, who would I root for? Oh, jeez, I was gonna say Cena. Yeah. But half the time I don't root for Cena.
Yeah, right. I know it's hard when you go that. Like it's very hard when you just go. Who's the guy?
The guy that you root for all the time.
Yeah.
God, this is gonna be such a weird answer now. Ooh, you know what? This is going to be the weirdest answer maybe. Yeah. CM Punk might be my favorite ever.
Really?
Because I don't think there's ever an instance.
Where you went, I don't want Punk.
Even when he was against, just Jeff Hardy, which is also, one of my topper tier guys, I was always like, no, Punk should win that.
Yeah.
Or, when he's going against Cena, even though I'm such a big Cena guy, I went, Punk's gonna win at Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Or Punk. I hope
Punk wins at SummerSlam. He needs to be the
guy to do it or whatever. I was always on the Punk train.
Yeah.
So I guess Fact check. Yeah, I guess I'd have to say.
Well,
I don't think I ever went against
when
Punk.
you started watching wrestling a little bit after I did, right? Yeah. I've been watching literally since I was born, but so you kind of got on it after, right? Yeah. So, but at the height of when you first discovered wrestling, Punk was in his element. He was the guy. You know what I mean? And that's what happens a lot of times. Is like when you grow up with somebody, or you're like, no, when he was the top dog, and you're just like, man, this is the guy, and you're like, yeah, I see why he's the guy. Yeah. And you know what I mean? So you really jump in on it. That doesn't shock me necessarily, based off of when you told me, we've known each other for 3-4 years now, so it's like I get where your mindset would be for sure. So my favorite current WWE guy is Mike?
Do you have anything of his in here?
I have a photo signed by him.
Oh, do you? Okay. I was gonna say I could just pull it out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Who is it, Mike?
Adam Cole.
There you go. But I will say, similar to you about Punk, though, that's why I like Adam Cole, because when I really got heavy into Ring of Honor, he was on his ascension as becoming a top guy. Like, he had he was right before he won the Ring of Honor television title, is when I really started focusing. I went, who's this guy? And then he won the TV title. I was like, okay, I can get behind that, right? Like, and I followed his career from CZW to Ring of Honor, even to New Japan for that little bit. When he became world champion, I was like, I'm on this train. I am on and my first Ring of Honor show, he was the main event, as world champion. So with Jimmy Jacobs in a phenomenal match at the time. But Cole, for me, I think he's a complete guy. I think his promos are good. I think his in-ring is fantastic. Mm-hmm. I've always been a huge fan of him. That whole group really is phenomenal, but Adam Cole, it's not even really close, honestly, whatsoever. I can't believe, it's funny, we both just chose NXT guys.
God,
it's so hard.
See, we brawled for those 3 matches.
Oh my gosh, I know.
That was hard.
I know. When he won the first one, I went, I'm dead. I'm like, I hate you. I hate him. I'm tired of everything. It sucks. It's stupid. I'm pissed. I was so bad.
You were bad.
I was so mad. Oh, so bad.
See, Rob's the yeller. I just get distraught.
Yeah, I just get frustrated. Yeah, you guys couldn't watch a football game with me. It'd be
rough.
Maybe one day we'll have that. We'll invite a fan over or something like that and watch a football game.
We just live stream Rob's reaction.
He's so angry. He's like, why does he watch it if he's angry? I'm like, because I do like it when they win. Let's see. So, all right. So, favorite outside of that, currently outside of WWE?
Ooh, I could probably give you one.
Oh, jeez. Who do you think I'm going to say?
Okay. Matt Taven.
Oh, yeah, I do like Matt Taven. He is really quite good.
Because I feel like he's the all-around guy, too.
Yeah.
That's more of your... that's like your thing, is having the all-around.
Yeah.
Than just
very much so.
Specific in one area.
Yeah. Taven is really good. I am a big Matt Taven fan. Oh, man.
I'm trying to think of anyone else that you're always openly loving. You're never always openly loving people. You flip on a dime. Oh, Jay White right now?
I do really like Jay White.
I think it has to be on one of these shows, though. Yeah. I think it had to be one of our first ones. You're like, I don't get Jay White and I hate Jay White.
Yeah, when he came with the Switchblade character, I went, yes, now I get it. Now I understand. But when he was doing that stupid, I'm just from New Zealand crap, I went, why? Why is this a thing? This is dumb. He's huge. Come on. I'll probably say Taven. I'll say Taven. Why not? I'm a big Kenny guy. I'm a big, those kind of people.
I was going to say those guys.
Yeah, Kenny's pretty damn good too. I'm a big Jericho guy too. I guess if you count him now as technically outside of WWE. I'll say Taven though. Same thing though, right? Taven was television champion at the time when I really started getting heavy into. So once again, I've seen the progression of his career, right? And I just, and him and Cole were a part of a group for a while there and everything. I was in all of my glory at that point when I was just like,
imagine.
I was like, oh, yes, thank you. This is great. This is good stuff. And then my all-time ever is who, Mike?
Want me to pull it off for you?
Yeah. Obviously, it's Bret Hart. We've talked about it before. It's funny that we mentioned. That's why I kind of put the criteria of whenever you watch him, you want to do it.
Yeah.
There has never been a match ever when I was 5 to now I'm 25. I have never once watched a Bret Hart match and went, man, I hope he loses. Never once. I used to go to the video store and rent movies based off of whether Bret Hart won the match that he was in that night or not. I would not watch the reviews where he didn't win. And then the ones that I thought he won and he lost, I was devastated.
Yeah, see, I don't think I've ever had a guy through my watching that was like, I'll die if he loses.
Yeah. Oh man.
I don't think that's ever been me. That's why saying Cena for me would probably be it. But there have been a ton of matches where I'm like, no, I don't care if you win. Yeah. You can lose. Nope, I'd be okay.
No, every single match I have ever watched of Bret Hart, I've been like, no, it needs to be him. Every single time. I don't know why he's the guy for me. I've never really understood why. I've always enjoyed his in-ring work, right? I've always enjoyed his feuds. I thought his 1997 is one of the most important years. His 1997 is one of the most important years ever. I think his career and everything that he touched at that time was ginormous at the time. I think, too, just because, a little bit of backstory about me, my first birthday presents ever were 2 wrestlers from my dad. There was a Bret Hart action figure and an Undertaker action figure. So, I've literally grown up with it since the very beginning. I've got posters here. I've got wrestlers hanging up here in the studio. He's always been my number one guy. I remember, like I said, every single, when it was still on VHS tape, I'd rent the tape and be like, all right, WrestleMania 10, all right, Bret's going over, but what I didn't know was Bret lost to Owen at the beginning of the night, and I was like, what just happened? I was pissed. WrestleMania 9, that was a disaster of epic proportions for me. So, I still can't watch WrestleMania 12 without being a little
I will say, the Undertaker undefeated streak, I was always on the Taker side.
Oh, yeah, me too. Every year. No doubt about that. I've always rooted for the Undertaker, I think, outside of going against Bret. I think I've always rooted for the Undertaker.
Actually, I think outside of one of the Michaels years, I think I rooted for Taker.
No, I've rooted for Taker. I don't think there's been ever a match that every time he was facing JBL or he was facing Brock for the WWE title, in 04 and stuff, I was Taker.
Your favorite match is the one at Mania 13, right?
Yes, my favorite match ever would be Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, WrestleMania 13 submission match. Gotcha. That to me and that's, I think, another reason why I like Bret Hart so much, because I think Bret has 3 of the best matches of all time, in my opinion. WrestleMania 13 versus Stone Cold, SummerSlam against Mr. Perfect, where he won the Intercontinental Championship for the very first time, as well as SummerSlam 92, when he faced Davey Boy Smith in the main event at SummerSlam as Intercontinental Champion. He was the main event against the British Bulldog, Wembley Stadium. It is the single match that he himself, as well as many others, can point to and go, that's how you knew he could be the world champion. Mm-hmm. Right there. It was when he got a good match out of a out-of-shape Davey Boy Smith that night, and that match was an absolute clinic. A lot of people, I don't think, can go back and watch a lot of his stuff and be thoroughly entertained, because I think sometimes you get caught up in the Ospreay type of style, right, where it's a lot of, whoa, geez, it's like bullets flying, Yeah. But every time you watch a Bret Hart match, it's a different match. Yeah. And the ability to do that and make anybody look good, whether it's Bill Goldberg, Hulk Hogan, Yokozuna, Diesel, Owen, whoever it was, Sting, Sid Vicious, you name the guy, and Bret faced him. That is the reason why I've always been on the Bret Hart.
Do you have a favorite outside of WWE favorite match?
Outside of WWE favorite match?
Because I have.
I think that Kenny Okada. Wow. I don't know if I've ever been on such an emotional ride where I just go.
That's where I was going to go to.
It was just like a melting of the moment for me, where you just go, wow. You were emotionally drained, and I think that's the beauty of it in a lot of ways, right? And it was that kind of thing. I would probably say that's probably my favorite match outside. Everything about it was just glorious.
That's close to my favorite match ever.
Yeah, but we'll get to your favorite match in a second. After the break, we got to talk to you about our great sponsors and all that stuff. After the break, part 2, we get Mike's favorite match, favorite football players, favorite basketball players, all that good stuff right after this. Stick around. And welcome back to part 2. This episode, once again, is brought to you by our great friend, Nick DiStefano at Nick D Realty. He is the go-to man in the state of Michigan to find all your buying and selling needs. If you're moving, he's the guy. If you're buying your first house like I was a few months ago, he's your guy. You give him a list of requirements, he will find all those listings for you. That's Nick DiStefano, 586-556-0304, or email him at nickd.realty. He is the absolute guy to go to. He is a badass dude. He will get you exactly what you want at the price point that you're looking at. I know that's important for a lot of people, making sure you don't go over your budget. He will find the house right for you. I promise you. Take it from me. I bought my house through him, so I know how he does things. He's the man. All right, Mike, we left off talking wrestling. We talked about my favorite match, Brett versus Stone Cold, WrestleMania 13. Really what put Stone Cold on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Did the double turn, which is hard to do. Give me your favorite match of all time. We talked about Okada, Kenny as well,
yes.
But maybe just WWE. Is there a match that just sticks out in your mind and you go, every time I watch it, it just sucks me right back in?
Yep. Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25.
Yeah.
I don't think without a question is probably my favorite. People say that the 26 one was better. 100% disagree. I think there were more stakes to it, but I don't think anything really beats the original.
Oh, shoot,
usually ever.
Yeah.
Because I've had people go, oh, well, 26 is so much better. I'm like, I wasn't as emotionally invested in 26 than I was 25.
Yeah. You don't get 26 without 25 being as good as it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like 20. Yeah, that's what I mean. 26 was only as good because 25 was that great.
Absolutely.
And just like the moment where Taker hit the tombstone the first time, and Shawn kicks out, and just the camera like going in on Taker's face, and him just going, I don't know how to beat this guy because this guy literally
low key. Undertaker too is low key like a guy where like his facials,
oh my god,
are so underrated. Like I just watched something on when Kane debuted at '97.
Yeah, I did watch that too.
Where you see Taker's face and he's just like he's stunned, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like that's legitimate. Like his bro, like you feel that, and you're just like, the Undertaker just showed some emotion.
Yeah.
So when he does, it is at pivotal moments where you can go back through time and go, there.
Yeah.
Or there. And that is a perfect moment. And I will put a caveat too. Brett and Austin is definitely my number one, but another one too that even now I look back on and go, well, there's actually two I have.
Okay.
Is Punk Cena, Money in the Bank.
I was going to bring that up.
I've never, it's been a very long time, but at that time, it had been a really long time where I went, I don't know who's going to win.
Yeah.
And that is why we as fans watch, right? Is for those moments where you go, Punk's going to win, right? But he's leaving, like legit, he's leaving. Like he hasn't, like he's not here anymore. Like they're not going to beat him. Like what are they going to do? It's like, and then he wins, and you're just like this, like there's an elation, but at the same time you're like, what is going to happen now?
That's the moment I thought of when you said favorite wrestler, and you always root for them to win.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say Cena. Yeah. Up until that point, I go, no, I wanted Punk to win.
Right.
I did not want Cena to win.
And Punk is definitely high up there for me, but once again, I'm a complete guy, right? I need the mic work. I need wrestling. I need everything.
I think Cena brings that too. He's very
absolutely
altogether.
But
that's the one moment where I go, I was cheering for another guy that wasn't Cena, so in that criteria, I can't say Cena.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And I think the other one, too, that I think is a match, for me at least, is Rock Hogan from WrestleMania 18.
Okay.
The technical ability, not there.
Yeah.
But the emotion and the crowd, and the impactfulness of the crowd at WrestleMania 18, that match is a defining moment in wrestling. When you see Hogan coming in hard as a bad guy, right? But people just went, we don't want that. And they want red and yellow Hogan back, right? And when he hulks up and everybody's going bananas for him, and he drops the leg and all those things, and they're almost booing The Rock at one point because they're like, no, screw The Rock, I want Hogan back. And it's just, and it's spurring that whole thing, just absolutely.
And my last honorable mention, WrestleMania 28, Hell in a Cell between Triple H and Taker.
Oh my gosh! Tell me about a roller coaster ride.
The moment where Shawn hits
the sweet shit into the pedigree
was the moment where I went, streak's over.
Yep, I literally went.
Yeah,
my face.
Literally went, okay, streak's over. Like that was a good run. It was, and then he kicks out, and then Michael's like flipping out, and Triple H like, what else can you do? That moment right there, I went, that match altogether was a little slow and okay.
But the moment where you just go, what just happened? 1, 2, kicked out. Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh, kicked out. Yeah, those moments, but make you hold your breath a little bit, say a prayer, and just be like, oh, thank God I didn't lose. You know what I mean? Then they ruined it 2 years later, but who are we talking? But those are the kind of moments, so absolutely, that make you fan. All right, let's talk basketball now.
I know we do a quick UFC.
Oh, yeah, let's do UFC, for sure, yeah. Who's your favorite UFC guy?
Conor McGregor.
Is it really? Really? I
close.
was not expecting that at all. I was not. I was totally like, I thought you were going to go somebody, you're just like, you're a very straight-laced human being. Yeah. So, like, that's why I was like, oh, he's such a cool.
Dude, it's not even, it's like Will Ospreay for, like, independence. Yeah. It's like leaps and bounds above any other fighter. Wow. Yeah.
Mine is Forrest Griffin. Because I really like, because I watched, like, The Ultimate Fighter, like, religiously for several years there. So, that... And the fact that he was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like, he's just kind of there. And when he beat Rampage for the light heavyweight title, I was like, yes! And then he lost it immediately, and I went, crap!
Just like Conor McGregor's ability on a microphone to just hype up a fight. Like, he sat there was the one interview I go back to all the time just to laugh at when, like, they're at the podium and he's has both titles, and someone's like, yo, I'm gonna knock you out in 30 seconds. He goes, who is this guy? I just think that's so funny.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah,
like,
UFC,
guys,
UFC, I really was paying attention to UFC for quite a bit there, about 5-6 years ago. That's when I was like, that was probably the most time I've ever spent. And lately, it's kind of become diluted for me. It's almost like Bellator has really kind of risen up quite a bit.
UFC hurts because I feel like they only have like one match a card that really people like they invest all the time in. Everything else feels like an undercard, even though it's on the pay-per-view, which kind of hurts.
Yeah, they're lacking in stars. Yeah, because big stars.
That's why you need guys like McGregor back. These guys to like come back, because that's where your big fight field is. And Nate Diaz and all those guys.
Yeah, I think it's just.
I feel like McGregor was carrying for a hot minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk basketball now. Mike is a big basketball guy. If you guys haven't noticed throughout the 49 episodes of the show, so clearly. All right, I asked this question, and I know it's... Who's your favorite basketball player, Mike? I'm just going to say who's your favorite basketball player because it's the same answer for both. So
yes, it's LeBron.
It's LeBron. Yeah, we knew that going in. Okay, why is LeBron your favorite basketball? We're laughing because if this is one of the first episodes you're listening to, go back and start at number 1 and work your way through. And just look at the description.
If it says
NBA, we know we're talking about LeBron in some fashion with Mike on the show. So you might as well just jump in and do it. So why is LeBron your guy? Is it just skill? Is it the way? Is it his attitude? Is it because everyone else hates him? What is it?
You know what? I think it's a culmination of all of that. Yeah. I think he's just so great at it, and I think it's just everyone just every shot you can just crapping on him. That I just like I'm like no, I don't think that's like I'm more of like I just don't think it's fair. Yeah. And even if you want to say, oh, he went to Miami, like there's so many things that he did that maybe are questionable or whatever, but like
never took away from his skill.
But it never takes away from the skill, and I'm like, I guess as looking at basketball and like you want to win. Let's be honest, Cleveland's not the place to go if you want to win stuff.
No.
Like, it's just like, it's like you're asking somebody to go, oh, by the way, we're not going to, like, the problem that LeBron had for a long time was he made the team relevant enough to where they couldn't get good draft picks to get him another guy there. So they were just always like an 8 seed. Yeah. And they could never get above that because they had no one else. Yep. But, like, that's it. Right. And so then, like, everyone just crapping him all the time. I will say the 2018 journey to the finals when he was like basically I'm not gonna say carrying a team on his back the whole time, but like
he was carrying a team on his back the whole time.
Yeah, I don't want to say it. You said it. It's just so phenomenal to go back and watch that, and all around just big LeBron fan.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I am not the biggest LeBron fan, but I have a respect for his game, though, and I think that's where we have a middle ground, right? Is that I'm not going to talk bad about the guy because off the court he's done nothing wrong, right? He's been a model NBA guy, right? He's a role model to thousands among thousands of children across the world. He is the best player in the world, without a doubt, no doubt. Is he your all-time and your favorite currently? There's nobody else that you can look back and be like, I can appreciate his game.
No, I can appreciate people. Yeah. But
is there like a number 2? Just because LeBron is your both. Is there anybody else where you just go, yeah, I can really dig his skill?
It's funny because I actually low-key I really like D-Wade too.
Yeah, D-Wade was really good.
When they were on the same team, because I kind of came in because actually Kyle was more of an NBA fan. Yeah. And then he was like, "Yo, start watching NBA," because he was a LeBron guy first, and I started becoming a LeBron guy. And I watched about his second year in Miami on probably around that time, and I was like, him and D-Wade were just
phenomenal
together.
Absolutely, yeah.
Everything about
my favorite, I guess, current player. I'm gonna probably say Kawhi. Although I am really on the D Rose train right now, and I didn't think I would be as big, but I just think it's just because I don't know why I am like. It's like the Thon Maker last year when they traded for Thon. I was like, Thon Maker, he's the guy. Like I don't know why, but it's just. It's fun to watch him, but I'm going to say Kawhi. And I'm a big fan of defense, so I'm very big on the fundamentals, and I just think he is a guy, similar to LeBron, who just does everything right. You know what I mean? He plays really good defense. People could say LeBron doesn't play defense. Stop it. I mean, you look at it and you go, he's a great defender, like all NBA first team, all defense, right? He can score the basketball, he can shoot the ball really well, he can guard pretty much anybody for the most part. He's just an all-around complete player, doesn't talk a whole lot, right? Just kind of goes out and does his thing, He kind of gets a pass a little bit just because he's not LeBron, so I think he kind of just kind of scoot around that, So there's not a lot of drama with Kawhi a lot of the time, he just goes out there and
does his thing.
Slightly, he just quietly kills you.
I say that's like 1A, 1B.
Oh, yeah.
I
especially right now.
I've officially moved him up to 1B for me. Yeah. For best player on the planet right now.
Absolutely.
But LeBron's still 1A.
Once again, and we talked about this last week, or 2 weeks ago, when we basically said, LeBron in one game, if I need one game, LeBron is the guy you pick.
Yes.
Absolutely. Now, over a whole season, at least right now, maybe that's not the case. But for one game, Game 7, I need him for one game.
Yeah.
I'm taking LeBron.
Yes.
Every single time. Every single time. My favorite, though, I would say my favorite NBA player, this is hard for me because I'm a big historian, as you know, right? I like going back and watching and looking at tapes and highlights of stuff and learning about the stuff before I was born and I was relevant, right? Like wrestling for the big, part of it. But so I'd like to be like, oh yeah, Isaiah Thomas is like my favorite basketball player. Rick Mahorn is my favorite basketball player. But even now looking back, I enjoyed watching those games and watching them, play a different brand of basketball. I'm gonna say Rip Hamilton is my favorite of all time, just because as a Piston, I was just like, man, this guy never stops. Yeah. His endurance was so high. He was always such a great shooter. He could defend. That whole going to work Pistons team was awesome. Mm-hmm. But he to me was always he was the scorer.
Yeah.
Of the team, and as any kid, you want to see the ball go in the damn hoop, you know what I mean? And he was just always like, oh, Hamilton, quick pop up from the elbow, boom, nailed it, boom, nailed it, boom, nailed it, He maybe didn't get as much fanfare as Chauncey or as Ben Wallace or even Rasheed to a certain extent, but he was always super consistent, and I just loved his shot. That really is what it was for me. Perhaps I'd like to say it was like Jordan or something like that, but I wasn't alive when Jordan played. I appreciate that Jordan. I think Jordan is awesome, but I don't think that for me as a fan, first I played for Chicago, so that can't be a thing. And two, for me, it's just I wasn't really paying attention at the time when he was at his absolute peak. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's easier I find it easier in wrestling and that kind of stuff where I can go back and watch everything literally every single week and be like, man, Shawn Michaels was awesome, or whoever. You know what I mean? It's a little easier to do that rather than sports. All right, let's talk football now. Who is your favorite current player? I think you could probably guess my current and all time, but but who's your favorite current player? I think you're good. I think I know who you're gonna say for your current, but I
think it's very obvious for the person I am.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. I was right. Okay. I just want to make sure. I didn't want to say it out loud and look like an idiot. So.
It's not very close.
Yeah.
I think it's been Russell Wilson since
pretty much since I've known
since he came into the league. I've been on the train. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's funny because we do we pick a Super Bowl team around the summertime.
Yeah, our whole family.
Our whole family does. About 10 of us. We all just pick a team. Mm-hmm. We do a randomized order and all this stuff. And the first year I did it was the year Seattle won the Super Bowl against Denver.
On the train all the time.
And since then, that was the second year in. Yeah. Since then, I'm like Seattle. Yeah. It's been Seattle.
Yep.
Ups and downs, bad seasons, great seasons, Super Bowl wins, whatever. Seattle and Russell Wilson have been synonymous.
For sure. Who's my favorite player?
Is it going to be the Lion, or are you going to go team other Lions?
Not my favorite player currently today.
Currently today?
Yeah. Who do you think in the whole league? Who's my favorite player right now?
Ooh, oh, is it Brady?
No.
Is it not Brady?
No, it's not Brady.
Is it Stafford?
Yeah, it's Stafford.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure if you were going to go Lions or not.
No. Oh yeah, no, definitely. No, Stafford is my guy. Similar to you with Russell Wilson, right? Ever since Stafford's been a Lion, I've been team number 9. I by this time at this point in the show, I think everybody should be on that should know that by now. But I am so heavily on the number 9 train, it's not even funny. Like, he's the first guy that made me think the Lions could be something more than just average. You know what I mean? Like, he's the only guy that ever been like, dude, just gotta give him something else. Yeah. Like, he's, his ability, number 1, phenomenal. The fact that at any point in time, I'm like, okay, we're gonna go score. He's the guy. You know what I mean? He's just a guy where, the Lions have never, ever, ever had a franchise quarterback. And so being as diehard Lions fan as I am, I think is part of the reason why I'm such a diehard Lions fan. Like, low key. Like, if he played, like, in another, like, as long as he wasn't in the division, because then it's not allowed for me to like him, but if he played, like, in, like, he played for the Niners, he played for whoever, right, Denver or wherever, I'd be like, man, if we can only have that kind of guy, I think you'd just be like...
I wouldn't like him.
Oh, my God. Oh, really? Oh, no way, dude. I just appreciate... I appreciate the fact that when he just goes, you know what, screw it, and he just throws as hard as he can. Like, it's a little bit of the Brett Favre gunslinger-ish thing, and I just, sometimes I just like the fact that even in the worst of times and the best, he's always just even keel. You know what I mean? He's like, this from a emotional standpoint, that's what I want my quarterback. Brady's the same way, right? You can show emotion, but at the end of it, you're cool. You know what I mean? So that's always been a big thing for me, is being able to kind of rise up in those moments. And statistically, he's done that more often than not. So definitely my guy, without a doubt. Who's your favorite all-time player?
I don't know.
I know it's hard, right? I know. I mean, the NFL. There's a lot of different criteria you can say who's you think is the greatest, or who who is your favorite. Mine just happens to be both the greatest player of all time and my favorite player of all time, but it's fine.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. I'm gonna say Brett Favre.
Okay.
Just because
I hate you. Just want to let you know that.
Because ever since it was weird in low league football, I threw this interception, and I was very upset about it. My coach went, "Who's your favorite player ever?" And I literally said Brett Favre, and he went, "You know how many interceptions he threw? It's fine, don't worry about it." And ever since then, I've always just loved Brett Favre. Going back to watch his stuff is amazing. No, I liked him when he was on the Jets. Come on, chill.
the one year. The Jets didn't like it when he was on the Jets. Oh, shoot. Oh, you're killing me. But I get it, though. I mean, once again, he was fun to watch, though. Even when he played in Minnesota, like that year they were really good in Minnesota. Yes. That team was really fun to watch because it was just like that game they beat San Francisco where he just chucks it and just goes, and Sidney Rice comes down with the ball and you're just like, how does that happen? And he wasn't a jerk off the field or anything like that. He did things the right way. He was just, it's not a bad pick. He's just a Packer, so by default I'm forced to hate him. But at the same time, But that's not a bad one though. My favorite player of all time is also the greatest player of all time. Who are you thinking? Who do you think I'm going to say?
See, I thought you were going to say Joe Montana at first.
No.
Because you have his poster right
I do have a Joe Montana poster in here too, but I also have a Jerry Rice signed helmet over there,
but it's not a poster.
That's true.
So
if I had a poster, that'd be huge. But
it's
Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice is far and away my number 1 player ever of all time. Favorite, bestest, awesomest, whatever you want to say. Yeah. But he's the greatest player, in my opinion, of all time. But he's also my favorite player. And I think it comes a little bit, too, from where, how I was brought up. My uncle was always a really big 49er fan. As much as he was a Lion fan, he was also, he was always a Niner fan. Good, bad, the Alex Smith bad years, the John Navarre, or not John Navarre, the, Tim Rattay years, whatever. Like, my uncle was always a big Niner fan, and I always kind of looked up to my uncle, so my uncle was always like, he was kind of like the bar for me. Outside of my dad, they were the two guys who would kind of like gave me my football education, so I was like, my dad has always been a diehard Lions fan. So it's like, all right, then that's the way you operate, right? Is no matter what, team's bad, team's good, you're a fan of that team. You're a fan of your hometown team. And my uncle was the same way with Niners. Even though he wasn't from San Francisco or anything like that, he just always like, no, that's my team. Because he grew up in the 80s when they were dominant and everything, So I kind of got my love from that there. And then just learning and watching, so much about what Rice was able to do. I get it. He had 2 of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but, he was so phenomenal, so dominant for so long. Like, these wide receivers now, it's like, oh, Des Bryant was really good for 2 years. Mm-hmm. Okay, Jerry did it for, 20. You know what I mean? Like, so you look at the longevity, the playmaking ability, the numbers still stand up to today. the amount of touchdowns, the receptions, the yards. He's got Super Bowl wins. He's got Super Bowl MVPs. He's got every check mark possible, you know. And he was just, you know, he was always the hardest worker in the room by all accounts. And so that's why, for me, it's just like, he was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. But did we miss any sports? Did we get everybody? Did we get everything?
I think, wait, let me think. Yeah, I think we
did, right? All the sports that matter, at least, right?
Wow, that was shade. You don't like golf?
Tiger. It's not close.
Fair. Yeah, fair.
Most people can't name. I can name other golfers other than Tiger, but Tiger's the only reason why I watch golf.
Yeah, same.
Tiger's the only reason why I watch golf.
Yeah.
Before, after, you know, everything else. But I think we got everything. I think we got all the sports, right? Who's your favorite soccer player?
Probably Ronaldo, maybe Neymar.
Sure.
I don't know, something like that.
Why not? Why not? Whoever he said.
Oh wait, what? Who's that? Actually, I don't like any. Okay, never mind. Never mind.
Who played? Was it?
I'm trying to think of the women's U.S. team, and I can't think of the chick with the hair.
Oh, Rapinoe, the blonde.
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
The blonde one, or are you talking about Wambach?
Ooh, I don't know. I will look it up.
The blonde one is Rapinoe.
No, she's not. I don't think she's blonde. She has like short, like comb over hair.
I think it's Abby Wambach, or I think it's her name.
Yeah,
she did the headers all the time.
Yeah.
This is not this past team.
No,
right?
no, this past one.
This past team?
Yeah.
Oh, then I got nothing.
Okay, cool. Because I don't like like the Alex Morgan chick.
No,
we'll pass. I don't think she was very good.
Yeah, well, I like her for other reasons outside of her soccer ability. She's gorgeous, but just saying.
Okay,
we're going off topic here. All right, that's going to be the favorite episode of the Almost Rich Host podcast. We'd like to have Kyle here, but we all know every answer he's going to give us is either Jared Cook or LeBron. So
yeah, even for
other sports. He's
did LeBron play hockey?
The guy on ice. That's what he's going to say.
Yeah,
he don't know. He's going to say one of the mascots when we play threes on the show. All right, for the Missing Mailman, for the Merc Zone, I'm the Mouth of Michigan, and we will see you guys as always next time.